Your Local 2 Weather Authority forecast.
John Mayer joining us now. You're telling us the pollen count's still up, and I'm definitely paying for that right now.
No, it's been bad for a good long while. I mean, this was basically, we had an extra month and a half of summer. I mean, no surprise, it's been so bad out there, but now we're finally seeing that switch to fall, even some winter-like temperatures. We're dropping down in a big way this week, especially those lows. We're going to see a chance that, hey, we could actually pick up some upper 30s near the end of this work week, at least down into the Davis Mountains. So going to be something to keep in mind. You're certainly going to need the jacket out there in this week ahead. And we're already feeling it even right now. Those temperatures are definitely a whole lot cooler than anything we've been seeing for a good long while now. The rain, though, it's not exactly here anymore. It's definitely pulled off to the east. We're seeing a lot of those storms out around Houston, towards Dallas, Fort Worth, but here in Odessa, in West Texas, not too much. Just a couple of clouds. It's about all the more we're seeing out there. There is a little bit of rain up around Hobbs into Lee County, but for the rest of us, not so much. The rain that we did see came much earlier. Really, we were looking like midnight through 5 a.m. That's when we picked up most of that rain. We got nearly a half inch, actually, at Midland International Airport and nearly an inch up in Snyder. And those are some serious numbers, enough that it's actually a record for this day in history to pick up that much rainfall, that 4/10 of an inch. That's more than we've seen on any other November 6th in history. But the question is, how are we doing this year? What about those drought conditions? Not too bad, actually. We're a little above where we'd expect to be at this time of year, a full inch above what we would expect by this time as we move through the course of the year. But still, we got a long ways to go. We're still looking at some of that drought out there on our drought monitor, but with more showers in the forecast over the next couple of days, chance to help us out just a little bit more. Tomorrow, probably not, though. Really just some clouds. That's about all the more we're going to see out there through the course of the day on Monday. Once we get to Election Day, though, that's our next chance for some of those showers and storms out south of I-10, and then making their way back towards the basin a little bit later on. Looks like Tuesday evening into Wednesday going to be our next best chance at picking up some more of that rain. Now, all the wet weather we have had really raising those humidity values. We're getting up into the 90s, even, well, 100% humidity. Can't beat that out into Hobbs. And this is going to lead to potentially a little bit of trouble out there tomorrow morning. We're looking at some fog cover into the early morning hours. So the morning commute could look a little rough out there. Thankfully, not going to be dealing with any of those thunderstorms, but still that fog is something, well, we haven't seen a whole lot of that recently. It's just been too warm to really support any of that fog. But now with those temperatures falling, we get a chance to see some of that. And speaking of falling temperatures, we've got a cold front, kind of hard to see. It's way up there, but it's starting to make its way down towards West Texas. And once it does move down into our viewing area, we're going to see even more of that cool air coming our way later in this upcoming work week. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on out there, that chance to see even more of those falling temperatures. And, well, we've already cooled down a good deal out there. Today's highs down in the lower 70s, 73 in Lubbock, Odessa, Midland. Hey, we were in the 60s off to the north. Amarillo only 65 degrees, and right now we're continuing to see those numbers just falling out there down into the 50s and 60s here in West Texas. You can see some of those 50s down into the Davis Mountains, 64 in Odessa, Midland, Big Spring, Wink. That's some cool air, and we're certainly going to see plenty more of that over the next couple of days, especially later in the week. Again, that's that chance when we could be talking about, well, some wind chill values and some downright wintry numbers into the early morning hours. Tonight, well, that's pretty cool itself. Dropping down into the 40s there in Lee County, 44 in Tatum, 45 in Lovington, some of those mid-50s into the northern basin, 56 in Andrews and Big Spring, and then into the afternoon hours, still staying in the low to mid-70s out there. A little bit closer to I-20, we see some more of those low to mid-50s tonight. Again, something to keep an eye on out there is going to be that fog cover into the early morning hours on Monday. So something to remember as you make that early commute. Tomorrow afternoon, getting back up mid-70s on the way for us. 74s in Odessa, Midland, Garden City, near 80 degrees just a little bit further to the west. 79 in Monahans and Grand Falls, and down along I-10, really more of the same. Low to mid-50s overnight, and some of those mid to upper 70s into tomorrow. Could see some 80s though. Sanderson 80, 82 down towards Dryden, and some more of those warmer temperatures on the way for tomorrow. Still waiting on that next cold front to really bring that little bit of a booster shot of cool air back into the basin. But overnight in the mountains, dropping down into the 40s there in Marfa, Valentine, Fort Davis, low to mid 70s for tomorrow afternoon. But what about the next few days? Well, it's going to definitely be on the cool side out there. We see those mid 70s tomorrow. That's one of the warmest days we're going to have in a good long while, though, dropping down to the mid to, well, even the lower 60s by the middle of the upcoming week. And you see that rain chance returning Tuesday night into Wednesday. That's our best chance to pick up on some more of that rain, unfortunately falling right on Election Day. But, well, the good news is we can certainly use some more of that rainfall. But later this week, we start to dry back out, warming up a little bit into the weekend, a return to that 70-degree mark by Sunday, but definitely a lot cooler than what we've seen for a good long while. Certainly a fall forecast, and that's something we can always use.
Finally.